Hello guys, Satyajit Patnaik here and welcome to my channel. Today we have with us Saurav Sahane, who's a mechanical graduate and he recently cracked through a Canadian firm as a data scientist. He's also a Kaggle 2 times master, and regarding the Kaggle part, we'll have a separate session where he can share some ideas and tips how to get started with Kaggle and become expert and master. I personally know Saurav since quite a long time. He's a part of few of our data science communities as well, where he helps our various newcomers in this field of data science and analytics. So we shall be discussing few things with him. What was his journey? What was his learning path? And we'll try to take inputs from him. So before that, let's have a brief introduction from Saurav.
Hello, Satyajit. Thanks for having me. I'm really glad to be here on your YouTube channel. And yeah, my name is Saurabh Shahane, and I'm a mechanical engineer. And I'm very passionate about data science and machine learning. So that's what I do. Recently, I got a job in a Canadian firm, and I'm also a Kaggle 2 times master, and I love data science. That's it. Thanks.
That's great. So, Saurav, today's video is going to be very informal video. We shall be having some discussions. What is data science from your point of view? Why did you choose this domain? How did you get internships? And all these questions, which basically the freshers have in their mind, right? So, this kind
Right,
of
right.
question. So we'll try to get clarified from your point of view. Before getting started with the video, we'll try to understand what is data science from your point of view.
Okay, so for me, data science is just an exploration with no boundaries. I mean, it is just about playing with the data and getting some results that you want, or maybe you can discover the whole new thing. So it is for me, it is about experimentation and experimentation.
Okay, so it's
Yeah,
kind of an experimentation on data, right? Okay.
yes, that is true.
So my next question would be like a very naive question, but yeah,
Okay.
why did you choose this particular domain of data science and analytics?
Yeah, so I mean, I was in my second year of my mechanical engineering, and then I knew that this thing I realized that mechanical engineering is not going to take me anywhere, so I need to search something else. So I was very good with computers since my childhood, but I don't know why I choose mechanical as a my degree thing. But I started with cybersecurity thing
Okay,
after that realization, and I started with hacking some like normal hacking things and uh, those kind of things. But later I was doing some online courses because Python was necessary for normal hacking and something like that. So what I did, I mean, this thing just showed up on my screen, and it was called as data science. And then I just looked into it, and there was this whole new world about data, and that thing really fascinated me, like
okay,
the tools and technologies, and yeah, that's how I got into this field.
okay. That's nice, actually. Yeah, I mean, so how did you get to know about data science? Like, what point of time? Let's say you are in your third year, second year. What was the exact time where you heard first thing about data science or machine learning or AI? And
So
if you could tell me from where, that would be wonderful.
like I said, I was doing some cyber security courses on various online sites, and I found this thing, data science, on Plural site, and I looked into it, and I went deeper and deeper, and that's how I turned into data science. But like
Okay.
initially, it was very difficult for me to understand some things. After just starting with data science, I started watching Andrew Yang's lectures and everything. But it was pretty intimidating me, and then I stick to this field, and then as the time progressed, I have a little bit mastery over it. I don't say much
Okay.
because it is very vast. That is.
Yeah. Yeah. Data science is a endless journey, right? I mean, it's
Yes,
the
right.
learning is endless.
That
I
is
mean,
true.
people, we still learn every day. So, anyways, so can you tell me what was your learning path? Like, what did you learn first, and then you kept on learning other topics? So, what was your learning path?
So my learning path is in. I mean, initially it was in bits and pieces. I was managing my college, and I also used to do data science in my rest time. And but I mean, it took me like 1 year of bits and pieces journey, and then after 1 year, let's say as the lockdown started, the whole day my whole day was went in the data science. I was doing data science whole day, machine learning and everything. So at first I started with Coursera. I did some courses on Coursera. Like my day used to start with Coursera and it was used to end with Coursera. So I was I
Okay.
mean stick to one place. So that's how I started with it.
Okay. So, you also started learning about programming language as well? Like,
Yes, yes. Both the thing. I mean, everything I did, it was parallel. I mean, mathematics or the programming or like let's say a practical thing. Everything was parallel. I mean,
okay.
yeah,
Okay, nice. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the learning path, like, yeah, somebody has to start with a programming language, because ultimately you will have to give direction to what you are doing right now, because getting
that is
insights
true.
is one part, and once you get the insights, then you have to take it to the next level. So in that part, programming language plays a vital role. But
Yeah.
there are some non-technical aspects of data science as well, which we'll discuss in few minutes.
Okay,
So we'll talk about that.
because let me interrupt you because I was mechanical. The other languages, for example, C, C++, or Java, it was very scary for me. But
Yeah,
as I seen Python, it was like plain English. So I was like, okay, this is the thing for me, and let's just learn this. And I learned
yeah,
Python, and that's it.
yeah. I mean, Python is a very to do tool actually, because Python, as it's anyways used in the analytics domain. Apart from that, it is also used as a programming language. So Python is it's very easy as well, user friendly and easy as well to learn.
Right, right, right.
Because as a data scientist, or at least in this particular domain, you don't have to be very good in Python, like not like a pro Python developer, something like that. But if you know the basics to intermediate level, you would be okay to take it to the next level.
That is true.
So, Saurabh, my next question will be, what should be the strategy for a fresher to enter this domain?
So strategy would be, I mean, start from basics, and then just, for example, see a bigger picture, and then try to get into the more details of what the picture is all about. Uh, so let's say you started with an algorithm, for example, and I mean you try to code that algorithm in your own way, and then go into the details of it, the mathematics behind it, the way it works, the theory behind it. That is the way.
Yeah, yeah. The basic thing is that once you are doing, or once you are working on some problem statement, you shouldn't blindly call your classifier or your regressor and then do everything and get your outputs right. So ADA exploration, understanding the mathematics behind the algorithm is very important, because mostly people tend to
That is
do
true.
tend to call the classifiers, and when you call the classifiers, it's just few lines of code, right? So people have to
Yeah,
understand the
yeah.
mathematics behind it, then only they will be prospering, they will be going in the right
Yeah, I
direction.
mean, data understanding is also there, but if you are looking at machine learning algorithms, that's what my approach. See the bigger picture first, and then go into the details.
Okay, now my next question will be somewhat related to the previous questions. What should be the tech stacks required for this domain related jobs? I mean, I know this domain
Uh,
is very big, data science and
yeah,
analytics is huge, there are multiple
right.
job options, but from your point of view, what should be the tech stacks required?
So, I mean, tech stacks change by companies. I mean, company by company, it changes. But essentially, Python is must. Python or R.
Yeah,
Then a little bit of Java, and C++ for CUDA. If you have interest, then I think that is from my side.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll just show some light on this particular question that there are like this industry is huge, data science and analytics industry, and
Right.
there are multiple job options in this particular field. Options could be data analyst roles. I mean, somewhat it's not related to data science, but it comes under the analytics area itself. So, data analytics, business analytics, data science, machine learning engineer, NLP engineer, data visualization developer. So there are lot of opportunities, and it depends. If you are too much inclined towards programming, then you can pick up the programming areas, could be machine learning engineer, NLP researcher, or deep learning engineer. But in case programming is not cup of your tea, or in case you are not interested in programming, there are non-programming job opportunities as well, like data analyst, business analyst, where you should be very good at data storytelling and statistics, Excel, how to visualize the data. All these kind of opportunities could be there. So that is the
Right.
reason it is told that data science is meant for all, be it
Yes.
computer science engineer, mechanical engineer, MBA. It could be for anything.
MBA. Yeah. Now you can see
Okay.
everyone is participating in this thing.
Yes, yes, yes. So, Saurav, tell me one thing. How many internships have you done so far? And how did you get that? And what should be the strategy for freshers to get internships? Because I keep getting a lot of messages from various people that they are looking out for internships, right? So you can talk about that.
Yes, I mean, for me it was very difficult to get one because of my background, which is mechanical engineering. So as I started to learn the data science, and as I felt that now it's time to get some experience through internship, so I searched on some websites for internships. I have applied plenty of them, and I mean I wasn't able to get one in some time, but then I got one with through reference through my friend. He has his own startup, and through that I got one. Then I did their work little bit, and then after that I got another one because of this work, and yeah, that's how I got my internships.
Yeah, yeah. So it's all about networking, creating connections, keep applying, never lose hope. And yeah, I mean, there are
Yeah.
multiple portals as well where people can apply.
Yes.
But sometimes those portals are also overloaded with profiles. So
Yes.
making social connections actually helps, right? So keep
Yeah,
doing
I
that.
mean it's India, right? For one place, there can be like around thousands of applications, so it is
Yes.
very saturated. So I mean, there are many ways to get an internship, but every way it is kind of possibility. So just keep applying. You never
Yeah,
know.
keep trying, keep trying. Yes. Okay. uh, and yeah, and social presence is very important, making
That's
connections.
true.
In case nothing works out, then also keep posting something on LinkedIn. Make your LinkedIn make it a habit that you have to post something every day. And something doesn't mean
Yes,
something randomly, but yeah, something related to your field of research and all those things.
that is
Okay.
true.
Now my next question would be how to prepare your first resume. Like, how did you prepare your first resume?
So in the beginning, I prepared. I was in a lot of confusion, like how to prepare a resume and everything. So I made it one page resume, and yeah, uh, because I was a fresher, I had no experience, like no real time experience. Only experience I had was internships and some projects that I did on machine learning or data science, whatever. So yeah, I mean it was pretty basic resume, just not the great one. So yeah, that was it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, resume helps, but yeah, I mean, it's always recommended to have a one page or a two-page resume, not more than that. In India, I have
Right.
seen people having six-page resumes as well, which doesn't make any sense. Uh,
Yes.
because because there was a survey conducted and it said that screening happens just in 1 minute or some seconds. So if your
Right.
first page or your second page is not able to impress the HR or the concerned person, then you cannot make it through. right?
That
So
is true.
resumes plays a vital role. So what
I
could be
mean,
some? Yeah, tell me
okay,
please.
go on. So I was saying, I mean, if you have experience, if you are participating in a lot of internships, or if you are applying for research internships in some outside countries, then it will really help you to build your resumes. Maybe you can maybe you can work as a volunteer in some company. That will really help you
Yeah,
to
yeah,
build the resume.
yes, that helps. So what should be the tips so that we can use it to improvise the resumes?
So yeah, as I said, maybe work with the people who are in this field already. I mean, if it's for free, then it's no problem, because you want experience more than money, right? So just get along with it, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
try making contacts with new people, and
yes,
try whatever you can. That is it.
yes. That's a good point which you highlighted, that in case you are not getting a stipend based internship, you should always look out for free internships as well. Try to reach
Right.
out people who are in this domain for quite a long time and ask them work. Ask them that you can work for free as well. So that helps when you start working with them. Definitely you gain more knowledge on some specific topics, and that helps you in resume building as well. Nice.
Yeah,
Now my
maybe
next question
one
would
free
be.
internship may lead into another paying job. You never know.
Yes, yes. Yeah, the first internship or your first job is always important. And that's where you keep making connections and you can easily get your next things, right? Now, my
Right.
next question would be where do you see yourself in next few years, probably 3 to 5 years?
Oh, okay. After 3 to 5 years, I mean, I'm not futuristic guy. I'm more present moment oriented guy. So, I mean, I don't concretize the future, but I will see definitely myself as a more happy, more wonderful guy after 5 years. I mean, I don't know where my career goes, but I will see myself as more joyful and more wonderful than what I am right now.
Okay. Okay. I mean, yeah, in the data analytics domain itself, or would you like to explore more options like blockchain or some other technologies, IoT or something? Or you don't
No,
have any idea?
no, I don't know. I mean, I don't know which possibility will become what. So I'm just yes to every possibility. Let's see which possibility comes to me.
Okay, keeping your chances open for
Yes,
everything, right? Okay.
open. Yeah,
Okay, that's it. That's it from my side, Saurabh. It was nice talking to you.
yeah.
I hope
Thank you for
you also had.
inviting me.
Yeah, thank you. And we'll have a separate discussion on the Kaggle part so that you share more knowledge on how people can prepare their Kaggle accounts, how people can groom themselves to have their GitHub repositories, because these things actually matters these days. Now,
Yes,
back in 2018-17, when analytics was new, not in 17, but yeah, previously most of the HRs and most of the concerned recruiters were not much concerned about the GitHub profiles and Kaggle profiles, but right now they do. So we'll talk about that in depth in our next videos. I think for today's video, that's it from my side. Thank you all for
thank you.
joining the session. Yeah, if you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. That's it. Thank you.